Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Wednesday, April 8th, year of our Lord, 20 and 26. I check out my Cordaro Jewelers watch. It tells me it's 9:06 and change. This is the Bob Cordaro Show, and I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America. I can prove it because my president is making everything right with the world. It's also the place for the brave. Like the veterans we will salute today, thanks to our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. Like Emily Berger, Zion Grove, Ronald Edwards, late of California, but he was from German, and Stephen Gogola, Parksburg. Veterans we lost this year but celebrate today, thanks to John. The United States of America, founded with the certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers who knew that government should not be, cannot be, and never will be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation, not any of these things, because it's power. And power of government always means less freedom, less liberty, and less choice for Americans. These founding fathers knew that government power, because of human nature, should only be a necessary evil designed to protect an organized society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be, by law, an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. And it could not be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter whether they lie or not. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose. Unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so, we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. A gentle warning, this is not a safe harbor for stupidity. This kind of foolishness will be roundly, and dare I say harshly attacked throughout the program. We will not suffer fools gladly, and their foolishness and ignorance, willful or otherwise, will be called out with intent, purpose, and vigor, designed and sadly necessary to save our great republic from evil, senselessness, and weakness, which can bring this noble and successful experiment called America down. So, we were, the Bulldog and I, Bill from Pittston, our friend Bill, took us to lunch yesterday. We've been trying to get this together for a while. And if you're watching, by the way, I always got to mention Roach Supply. Roach Supply is the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania, celebrating 75 years in business. 4-year-old Ron Roach, still chugging up to Honesdale. They also have a Chapman Supply in Clark Summit. And they are sponsoring our live stream. And if you're looking at the live stream under WILKNewsRadio.com, you will see I have my brand new, proudly wearing my brand new Abe's, the one and only, 419 South Main Street in Wilkes-Barre. Bill had invited us to lunch. I said, I've got to go to Abe's. I've got to go to Abe's. I've got to go to Abe's because, as you know, we have the Basilica Hospitality Group, and they will be opening up a Coney Island in the near future. And I said, I got to get down to Abe's now. And so Bulldog and I go down there. We meet Bill, and I'm going to tell you, I cannot brag enough about it. It's like a window on recent history. And the service is incredible. And Scott, the big guy he's in the window cooking, which I love too. That's the old school. And I mean, you go in there, it's like one of those cooking programs. You ask for your hot dogs, and I had to double up. I had 2 hot dogs, a cheese dog, and a regular with everything on it, and that was a recommendation of Bill. I think the Bulldog, right? You had the same thing, Bulldog? And then that wasn't enough. I had to have a cheeseburger. I had to have a cheeseburger with the sauce. It was incredible. I couldn't believe how quickly they served it. I mean, it was just great being there. I'm telling you guys, do not miss going to Abe's. It's out of another era, and you know what? We have these places forever, and then all of a sudden you don't. And you say, oh, I wish I went to Abe's. And what they have a lot of people working there. So, come on, they got to make money. But you're not going to get a better stop. You're not going to get a better lunch stop. You really are not. They got plenty of parking out back. But, right, Bulldog, we loved Abe's, right? The Bulldog,
yes.
You have to admit, by the way, Bill picked a booth sort of in the corner. So I'm watching the Bulldog trying to wedge his way in there. And I think Bill, very politely, he's a religious guy. He's a very attentive host. He said, maybe we could move up there to a different booth. And Bulldog, you did fit into the second booth, right?
Yes.
Well, Cutie's texting me, and a cheeseburger, you're a pig. But no, they were too good. And they, you know what is, and they came out so fast that I wolfed it and I had a root beer. I can't brag. And who cares if they take a picture with us? I wanted to take a picture with them. So I got a picture with the staff. And I've got a bunch of them, actually. One of the other patrons took the picture. And it was great. I'm telling you. You're back in time at the same time that like, I don't know, the food's just outstanding. It's a classic place. You got to try Abe's. I'm telling you. If you're down in the Wilkes-Barre area, you got to try Abe's. I told you about Jimmy's in Hazleton. And, of course, we have the Coney Island and the second Coney Island up in Scranton. This is unbelievable. I mean, beyond pleased. We're very excited. We enjoyed ourselves. I overate, but I would only say slightly. And it was worth the trip. It was worth the trip. Right? This is Abe, somebody texting in. Abe's on South Main, Wilkes-Barre, best hot dogs with everything. Which, by the way, I heard from you guys. The listeners told me about Abe's and how great it was. And every one of you was correct. Yeah. Sean from Larksville said, what did I tell you, Bob? A great bar Note that all great bars, not all great bars, serve alcohol. Because I thought when they said, "Oh, sit at the bar," which we didn't. I don't think Bulldog would have worked out on the stool. I really don't. But anyway, Sean says some serve great chili dogs, and that's Sean from Larksville. They do. And I just miss when you mention bar. I think, well, I'm going to have a beer or whatever. No, that's not what it is. And by the way, I was commenting to Bill, our friend from Pittston. I said, Bill, I looked, and all the classic accoutrements of a mid-50s diner kind of thing, and they even had. And I remember these things. I used to work at the original hoagie shop in Dunmore. And they have behind the glass thing, you could go in there, and they had about 2 or 3 cereals, including, I noted for whatever reason, Sugar Pops in the miniature boxes. You know, the boxes that actually, if you wanted to, you don't have to when you're at Abe's. But you could. They had the instructions where you could split them open and use the cereal box as the bowl. Anyway, they had that, and I going, oh, I got to go for breakfast here. I really do. I've got to go to breakfast for Abe's. That's the next project. I don't think. Well, Bulldog, I don't know if I'll take you. I don't know because he's on the air starting at 6:00 in the morning. So I'll go. I will go at some point soon. Because I just loved it. I just could not get enough of Abe's. I'm proudly wearing the T-shirt, and thank you to all of them. And I'm happy I have your picture so I could remember everybody in the place. It was that good, that classic, amazing. And somebody points out, and reasonably priced. Yeah, well, it was cute, too. We're leaving, so I left a tip. And they said, sir, you left your money behind. I said, no, that's the tip. It's one of those experiences you get in, Abe's is one of those experiences you get in Northeast Pennsylvania and in America that just makes this country great. That's all. Thank you to everybody at Abe's. And we didn't want any special treatment. We didn't get any special treatment. We got fantastic treatment because we were there as customers. That's what they do. We'll take a break. We'll be back. We got to talk about the obvious, which is the Iranian ceasefire when we come back. Let's hear from our great sponsors. A little history, a little music, and then you at 570-883-0098. It's the Bob Cordaro Show, and we are on air. I don't know where Murph finds this stuff. But April 8th, 1956, the Johnny Burnett Trio. Now, that's before I was born, but I still have never heard of them. They made their first of 3 appearances on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour on ABC TV. The performed trend kept a rolling. Who did that? A rock band did a different and maybe a better version of that. But anyway, yeah, Johnny Burnett Trio. How about that? And before that, the 17th Amendment. The Bulldog found this date 1913. Popular election of senators. They used to be appointed by the, as you heard, the state legislatures and actually the governor. In any event. Somebody asking, how about the potholes in Wilkes-Barre? Well, good. You brought me to a favorite subject. They do not compare to the city of Scranton. There's not even a fair comparison. You guys are pikers down there. See, you have a good mayor with bad weather. We have bad weather and a horrible mayor, an incompetent mayor. So I get home, by the way, and here's the funny point. I get home, and you can't park on the street. They're grading and paving my block only, as far as I could tell. I mean, I go shut the loudmouth up. I don't, it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing, but this is what politicians like Paige Cognetti do. It looks like it's an out-of-town company. I mean, we have nobody in town to. And I got to tell you, I'm not one of those people that expects everything done and everything perfect and whatever. I get it. Now, you've got to remember, this woman has been mayor for 5 years. This street has been a nightmare for 5 years. They did pave cuts on it last year, and it became like Fallujah after it was strifed. So, please, Wilkes-Barre, I've driven around Wilkes-Barre. You guys aren't even in our league, and be very happy about that. We've got a disgraceful administration and mayor trying to go even further, trying to become the congressman now. Oh, Lord. Oh, Bob, I think it was Aerosmith that did Train Keep a Roll, and a bunch of you texted in on that. Thank you. Yeah, by the way, and I pointed that out. Someone mailed it to me very nicely. Wilkes-Barre has a pothole line. You can call and say, hey, I got a pothole, and they'll try to fix it. Nothing like that in our city. Quite amazing. Anyway, somebody texts in, Bob, a little story about Abe's. My brother, who you honored as a veteran, and thanks to John Basiligas and WILK, however, my brother loved Abe's. When he passed, I went to Abe's and told him about his passing, and he gave me a T-shirt, and he has it with him now in heaven. Oh, isn't that great? Thanks to Abe's and his family, LTS. Maybe I'll be buried in this Abe's shirt. I like it. Barry from Plains says the Wyoming Valley Mall. Well, it's the Wyoming Valley Mall. I mean, they can't pay their electric bill. What do you want them to pave the lot? Anyway, but yeah, all right, let's talk while we've got a couple of unadulterated minutes here. So I think a lot of you felt tension with what we were going to do to Iran and how many civilians might be killed and all that kind of thing if they did not meet Trump's deadline. Well, I just knew that they were looking for a way out because we've destroyed them militarily. They cannot defend themselves. Well, and I think we were looking for a way out, but these people are so insane. The Iranian leadership is so sick, so insane, so apocalyptic, and so satanic, I will add. They don't care who gets killed over there. But Pakistan, in particular, got in the middle of the whole package and gave us a fig leaf to not do that overwhelming attack that was going to occur last night. And I think Trump was relieved. So now we've got 2 weeks, number one, to let the leadership sort out. There have been people they've been negotiating with for weeks now, but you don't know if they've got ultimate control. So would we be bombing without purpose, without, again, what does victory look like? It looks like what we've already achieved. Now, obviously, I'm concerned since Iran has conceded nothing, and this is a fig leaf ceasefire. It's a ceasefire based on a fig leaf that was not even provided by the Iranians, but provided by the Pakistanis, who said, oh, yeah, they're ready to deal. So we needed an off-ramp as much as them. And I want you to remember this. Let's look at it from a military standpoint, which is the only thing that matters in a lot of ways. The military, I guarantee you, saying, good, we've got a couple of weeks to give our guys a break, to reprovision, to rearm, and to figure out, actually, okay, remember, when you're bombing every night, you don't know which targets necessarily are still viable. I know it's not like the old days, you're bombing the same target over and over again without knowing whether you did it or not. We've got much better satellite and other intelligence. But believe me, we needed the break too. We really did. And if, as the Iranians were planning, there was massive civilian casualties when Trump was bombing them, back to the Stone Age, as he said, then the United States would have had real problems on the world stage. And I don't care about the world community. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, in practical sense, reasonably. I'm not talking about the scumbag Democrats who are all now saying, oh, well, we didn't achieve anything over there. What did we even go over there for? So the issue is the Trump's, number one, Trump's crazy man strategy. It worked. But now he's going to owe the leaders who saved him the headache of having to destroy them further. He owes them something. Now, the question is, do we have the right greedy, corrupt pigs to deal with at this time or no? They don't know. And again, another positive of this 2-week delay, not only to re-ready ourselves to attack again, but also let's let things shake out. What do the Iranian people do in the interim? I was watching Mark Levin. He was on, I think it was Hannity, and he said, we've got to arm the Iranian people because, and he's right, much like we've done in Afghanistan and elsewhere, you've got 70 million Iranians, minimum, who don't want this regime, who don't want this sick, pathologically apocalyptic religious regime in charge. At least 70 million. Maybe there's 10 million that don't care. God forbid. 10 million that don't care and 10 million that are getting so much from the existing power structure or who are completely brain dead, that they support them. They can take over time. We'll see. But these couple of weeks are important. Somebody says we have another month or so of outrageous gas prices. Not necessarily. They're going to be high. But if, in fact, the Strait of Hormuz opens, well, the excuse for jacking them up won't exist anymore. So let us see. They've prosecuted this war incredibly well so far. They had the cojones, the guts to do it. I'm telling you, they've saved millions of lives. This attack on Iran saved millions of lives. Millions. These sickos were going to start World War III. It was their intention. They were going to develop an atomic weapon, and they were developing it to use it. Anyone who doesn't understand that doesn't care. They don't care to be educated. So, the 2 weeks can serve a lot of purposes. We've got to shake out the leadership in Iran. We've got to expose the new leadership in Iran. So either ourselves or Israel can kill them. A lot of work to do. We will see. All right. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll take a break. We'll be back. We've got a Veterans Tribute. We've got the weather and more, as they always say, after this. Our Veterans Tribute, this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. And it's Wednesday already. I can't even believe it. Where does the time go? So we start talking about Basiliga Hospitality Group. Want to check out a movie this weekend? Scranton Art House. Voted the best movie palace in the region. That's downtown Scranton. 3 amazing bar restaurants. I mean, amazing. You just go and you'll say, yeah, Bob was right. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern. It was a neighborhood tradition and institution. John and his gang reimagined it. You got to check out the Far Street Tavern, Trips Park section of West Scranton. Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. It's your jaw will drop when you walk in. Fine dining, yes, they've got that. The Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. I mean, this place is awesome. Picture going to Newport, Rhode Island, checking out the mansions and getting to have a great dinner and amazing drinks in one of those mansions. And then you go up for a modern take on the best in fine dining, a Terra 519 with that great happy hour, $10 drinks, $6 craft brews, 4 to 6 every day. Emily Berger. She was 75 when we lost her March 22nd. She was a resident for the last 3 years at Providence Place in Drums. Born in Shenandoah. She spent most of her life in Zion Grove prior to moving to Drums. She was a bank teller for Bank of America in Cunningham. She was a member of the Emmanuel UCC Church, Nuremberg, the United Senior Citizens, the Dream Machine Motor Club in Bloomsburg. She loved classic cars, among many other things. Preceded in death by her husband, Wayne Berger. Survived by cousins, nieces, nephews, and other family members. Emily Berger, our veteran this hour. Brought to you by our man, John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resort. Well, it's a pretty good one. Today, plenty of sunshine, high 58, although we'll see, because it's only 34 at Montage right now. Tonight, clear, low of 30. Tomorrow, intervals of cloud and sun, breezy in the afternoon, high 61, low 39. Friday, turning cloudy and warmer, high 73, low 43. Saturday, mostly sunny and cooler, high 60, low 32. Sunday, intervals of cloud and sunshine, high 63, low 47. And that is your weather forecast. I listened to Joe Snedeker on the morning news. Almost the same, but it looks okay, right? It's pretty good for early April. And that is your weather, brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resorts, where, as I said, it's 34 degrees. Elvis. This date, 1957, Murph said he had the #1 hit with All Shook Up. Bob Cordaro back with you. You guys wonder, why do I play the music a little longer than most talk shows? Well, they're not just bumpers. They're part of history. And we don't want to forget that. It's a big deal. But reminder, you could check out my Abe's shirt. The original Abe's. What do they call themselves? They say, the one and only Abe's, they say. Checking out the live stream on WILKNewsRadio.com. And it fits me good. Scott went to the back and got this shirt, and it fits perfect. But that is all brought to you by Roach Supply, premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business. You know what that means? That means they're honest. That means people love to deal with them. That means they've got good prices. Visit Roach Supply, ROCHE supply.com today. Hey, let's get right to the blower. We got Al from Florida. Al, how are you, brother?
Hey, Bob. Hey, I really enjoy your show. I've listened to you hundreds of times, but it's the first time I'm calling.
Well, I'm happy you did. It's good to have you on board.
Hey, you made the comment before that millions of people may die if the Iranians got the nuclear bomb. And it came to my mind, I remember this. I don't know if you can, you're old enough to remember Carl Sagan. He was an astronomer.
Sure, yes.
And he had a television show for years. And he said that when Saddam got a hold of the oil wells in Kuwait and threatened to set them on fire if we attacked him, that the end of the world would come because all this soot and dirt, oil would go into the atmosphere, surround the earth, and destroy our civilization. But he was wrong, because the guy by the name of Red Adair went in there and blew out all the oil wells which were on fire. But who in their right mind would want to have nuclear weapons in an area like around Basra in southern Iraq? The oil comes to the surface. Now, how could you possibly put out a fire if the entire oil field got caught on fire? You couldn't.
Well, it'd be beyond fire if they were detonating nuclear devices. It would have been
the heat and the nuclear
point of it, Al,
over 1 million degrees.
The point of it from their leadership. The point of it was catastrophe and bringing about the end of the world. That's the reason they were driving towards a nuclear weapon, to bring about the end of the world and the 12th Imam back.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Nuts.
So who in their right mind could oppose this intervention? And not only that, Trump is using negotiation tactics to try to stop the war. He's telling them, look, I'm going to destroy your country. I'm going to destroy your civilization. Well, if the enemy feels there's no chance, maybe they're more likely to stop the war.
Yeah.
But they want to, yesterday it was all over, we're going to accuse him of war crimes, we're going to impeach him, the soldiers are going to be accused of war crimes. I can't believe these people. What are they thinking?
Yeah, we have a left that is sick, that is desperate, that is mentally ill, and that is evil at its core, and in terms of its driven the forces that drive it. That's what we have. We don't have normal disagreements right now, and they've got enough of ignorant idiots following them, either because they've got Trump derangement syndrome or they're dedicated Democrats or whatever, that don't even understand what they are doing. Like, you got people protesting gays for Gaza when if they were there, they'd get killed. Just think about these idiots. The No Kings protest. You're talking about total jackasses, not an ounce of common sense or thinking, and they're following this evil left, and it's scary.
It is. Obama tried to buy them off. It didn't work. Mm-hmm. Biden and Harris's attempt was don't. And obviously that didn't work. I mean, they made hundreds, if not thousands, of long-range missiles and drones while we were saying don't.
Yep. Hey,
and this guy finally does something to stop it, and everybody's up in arms.
And
This is,
forgetting, by the way, forgetting that in point of fact, the Obama and Biden gave them the resources to try to end the world.
yeah.
You can't make it up. You can't make it up. So I'm
Yeah,
happy you're on
yeah.
the right side, Al. Good thinking.
Okay, Bob.
All right, brother.
Well, I enjoy your show.
You
Keep the good work up.
Thank you. You check in when you
Thank
can,
you.
all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, man. Hey, we got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to return. We got the Bloomberg Money Minute in the middle there and a lot of other things going on. My Bacardo Jewelers watch says 9:49. We'll be back. Now, I did not know this. Murph tells us it's this date, 1967, the Doors, I call them the Oakland Raiders of classic rock, they debuted with their first single, Break On Through to the Other Side. This date, 1967. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. And quickly, somebody said, text in, Bob, I know you like Tucker Carlson. Well, I used to. And I know Tucker liked Trump. He loved Trump. But Tucker totally lost his muster and trashed Trump on his show, has me trying to give Tucker a pass, but damage done. This is Giles from Archibald. How can I trust Tucker after he lost his cool like a brainwashed Democrat? Something happened, and it's either massive money or some other mental problem with Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. They've both gone insane. And I try to watch them and follow them a little bit here. I can't even do it anymore. There's no rationality. They're anti-Israel. I don't get it. I don't get it. They've both gone sick in the head. And so they're just not anybody I'd pay attention to. Hey, so we were talking about Abe's, and here is the sponsor of our feast, Bill from Pittston. How are you, Bill? Thank you again. Thank you again for lunch. The Bulldog, I hope he didn't slobber on you while he was eating.
No, you know why I took that food? When I first got there, they were packed, and it was the only thing available. So I just figured, I'm just glad we had a spot.
It was very polite. It was very polite of you once you realized Bulldog. Now, he wedged himself in there somehow, but at some point, the table was going to explode onto us. So I'm happy. I'm happy you moved us. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, one of the things I wanted. Oh, by the way, they were obviously thrilled to have you there. I mean, you just lit up the place.
Well,
so
they didn't know who I was,
but
that wasn't the point. The point was Abe's, not us. You know what I mean? It was just great to be there.
But they lit up, when you were telling them how great the food was, but that's how they are. Like you said, that's their business. That's why people love them. They have great product, and they treat you like everybody like that.
And don't you like, Bill?
Like
I'm keeping you off your subject, but don't you like the fact they were all experienced waitresses? Like these people, they've all been doing this. They know what they're doing. I thought that was great.
Oh, yeah. And when I was waiting, she kept on saying, would you like something just to hold you over? She came back like 3 times. Are you comfortable? And I'm thinking, wow. Yeah, you can't top those folks.
Yep. Amazing. So what's on your mind today, my man?
Well, what I wanted to ask you, and I didn't do that, that sign with Biden, war hero in Scranton, is there any realistic way that can be taken down? I mean, morally it's
well, they have an excuse. It's been stained. Somebody hit it with paintballs, pink paintballs. And a friend of mine took a picture of it. The picture was blurry, but I could see what they did. I mean, at this point, they've got their excuse if their little baby egos will not allow them to take it down because it's a lie and stolen valor. At least now they can say, you know what? Let's take it down and pretend we're going to clean it and just never rehang the disgrace. That's what I'm hoping for. But we're going to keep on it every day until it's down.
Good, because that is disgraceful to people like my dad and other veterans that shed their blood and that have this. To be despised by your own town that they're shooting paintballs at your picture. What does that say?
Well, Bill, and the other thing is this, all right, maybe you didn't know what the hometown hero banners were, and you said, let's honor Joe Biden. You're totally addled. But so let's honor Joe Biden, the sickening, corrupt disgrace. Fine. I don't even get it, but I get it, okay? So they do it. They find out, no, hometown hero banners are only for veterans. And then they vote not to take it down 10-5. And I'm like, wow. So these people are ignorant and stupid. Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. I mean, it's incredulous that they stick to this pattern, but they're imitating their leader.
Well,
versus a feather.
imitating the leader and imitating today's Democrat Party leadership. The only sensible one's John Fetterman. Nothing out of any of these idiots. Amazing.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. You look back at Joe Lieberman when you had Democrats that were liberal Democrats but reasonable Democrats. He was a good defense guy. He was big on the military, and those guys are gone.
No, it's scary stuff. But look, we'll be reporting on it every single day. And Bill, thank you again, my man. It is 10:01, which means when I look at my Cordaro Jewelers watch and I see that sweep hand, and then I say, oh, my God, it's after 10, that means it's time for the news with Brian Hughes. And we're going to do that, and then we'll come back. We've got Jimmy Fallon checking in. Remember him from Fox? He's coming in here in May, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about that and the world in general. We'll be back. Great good morning, everyone. My Cordaro Jeweler's watch tells me it's 10:10 and change. This beautiful, what is it today? April something or other. Wednesday, April 8th, year of our Lord 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great Basiliga hospitality group, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today, thanks to John, like Emily Berger of Zion Grove, Ronald Edwards, late of California, but he was from German, Stephen Gogola, Parksburg. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, who we will not allow to be canceled, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle, gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. Well, and he calls everybody else great, so I'm going to call him great. The great Jimmy Fallon. He started off as a comedian and driving a cab, slugging it out. He got discovered as a comedian, and he's written a couple of books, too, by the way. The first one, back in 2013, Follow That Car, A Cabbie's Guide to Overcoming Fears. And finding gas stations. It's very good. Then he wrote the Cancel Culture Dictionary in 2024. He's got a daily show on the radio. You could hear him here locally. Fox Across America, noon to 3. And he's got a Saturday night show, which is just outstanding on Fox News. And here he is. Once again, we got to talk to you before, Jimmy Fallon, but it's great to have you back on the air again. Welcome.
Bob, I'm trying not to get emotional over here. It's good to get the band back together, though.
Well, listen, everybody's enjoying your stuff, and you've taken sort of a different tact. I get everybody mad at me because I'm slamming hard, but you do it with your signature humor. But it's really disarming, and it works big time.
Yeah, I mean, that's my superpower, because growing up, for real, I was a fat kid with a bowl haircut. I had a big mouth. So I had two problems. One, people wanted to beat me up. Two, I liked girls, but I had the physique of a middle school girl. So being funny was really the only weapon I had socially. Like, it got me out of trouble, and it got me into trouble, but the good kind of trouble, I think they'd say.
Jimmy Fallon, do you pinch yourself once in a while, because your rise has been incredible over the last 15 years? By the way, not without a lot of hard work behind the scenes.
Well, yeah, thanks for saying that, because whenever somebody tells you, as you know, Bob, whenever someone says somebody is an overnight success,
yeah.
all that really means is you were working the overnight shift for the last 20 years
yeah.
until somebody actually heard your name. So, yes, I was driving a taxi, getting cut off and shot at by hobbits and time travelers, wizards. Anybody who thinks we don't have life on other planets has never driven a taxi in New York City, okay? And in doing that, I was obviously listening to a lot of talk radio, and ultimately I was just in my head picturing the kind of show I do now, which is just good company in the cab. Hard news gets you mad a lot because you're talking about a lot of insanity in the Democrat Party right now. So I was just trying to figure out how to cover it without making the guy in the back seat snap and stab me with a screwdriver, Because this is the thing, Bob. When you start off driving a taxi, you don't want to get killed. But after you're driving a taxi for 6 months, you're hoping to get killed. So you kind of split the difference on the air.
Oh, that's fabulous. What was your big break? Like, what happened that all of a sudden you said, man, this is going to work?
You know what, for real? A Fox booker saw me at the Gotham Comedy Club and put me on Kennedy's show. And at the time, I was a cab driver during the day doing comedy at night. So my first time at Fox News, I was on with the great Kayleigh McEnany, and I was there during a shift. So I had my taxi double parked outside the building, and we were leaving at the end of the night. It's the first time I ever met Kayleigh. And me and Kayleigh were out front. She's the nicest girl in the world. And I said, hey, I don't want to cut you off. I got to run and catch my cab. She goes, oh, don't rush. There's nobody in it. And I was like, oh, no. I meant it's my cab. Like, it's mine. Like, if you need a ride back to the White House, I got you, Kayleigh. And that's how it started.
And how did you come up with your unique fashion statements that you show us?
Yeah.
Most often, you make your Jimmy Fallon fashion statements.
Yeah, I do. I do dress like a figure skater who let himself go. You know, I look like I won a medal at the last Olympics, but I got too chubby to compete in this Olympics, so they made me a broadcaster. I plead guilty to that. In truth, I was a big fan of Motown growing up. It's a good American story nobody tells. It is very Gordy. In 1958, a black man, this predates the Civil Rights Act, was able to create a billion-dollar empire by just throwing his hard work and determination behind what we call the American dream. There was enough latitude in a capitalistic society for him to out-hustle everybody else. And what he did with Motown is he said everybody can sing, but they don't all sing and dance. And if they do sing and dance, they don't wear matching flashy outfits that really put another coat of polish on the product. So I actually learned this, I'm not kidding, at the Motown Museum in Detroit, which is a great place to go if you don't mind an occasional gunfire.
Yeah, it's not in the best of neighborhoods, is right.
No.
All right, so all this stuff is rolling. At some point, you're doing a lot of guest appearances on Fox.
Yep.
When do they offer you the radio show? Because that came first, right?
Yeah, that was in 2020. What happened was I had started to be a frequent guest on Fox News Radio and a guest host occasionally for the other guys. And they had a noon to 3 host leaving. And essentially, you know, everybody they wanted to use probably asked for too much money or turned it down. And they were like, hey, what about that kid in the rhinestones on the 16th floor? He's kind of fun. So we started that show, Fox Across America, on 27 stations. It's on 205 now, not bad. But it's the same show, meaning as the market for it expanded, the approach to it kind of stayed the same. I am covering hard news the way you give a dog its vitamins. You know, if you offer a dog a pill, it's not going to eat it. But if you cover it in enough peanut butter, he might bite your hand off to eat it and not even know he did. And that's how I cover hard news. I'm just putting your vitamins in a spoonful of peanut butter so you don't know you digested them. That's it. That's what I do.
Jimmy Fallon is our guest. You're going to be here on May 2nd in celebration of The Talker. They're our competing radio station, but they're great. Of The Talker's 10th anniversary, and actually the Bold Gold Media Group's 10th anniversary. So you're going to be here now for the second time in a year, and you are natural for Northeast Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but it's still risky because there's a casino involved. So, you know, every one of these gigs starts out with me being the esteemed guest, but it very well could end with me turning tricks in the parking lot. I mean, you don't really know once the gambling starts. So it's a great event. But what I do love about the event is, as ridiculous as I am and jokes and everything else, is, you know, this is a celebration of the First Amendment and the next generation of kids who want to get out there and fight this ground war for our American privilege. You know, and as much as I like to joke around, you know, there's very much a plan behind what I do. And that plan is to bring perspective to this conversation. Because what a lot of people don't know right now, I mean, you do and your listeners do, but a lot of people on the left don't realize what America's really becoming is we're the richest kid on the block, and we don't realize how nice it is in our house. So we're complaining, while the people down the street who don't have heat or groceries think we're insane. And that's the modern left. They're complaining about the greatest and most prosperous and tolerant country the world has ever known, and they sound psychotic to anybody who knows the real story. So I'm really there to drop truth bombs. I just kind of marinate them in a lot of ridiculousness.
So, I mean, you grew up working / middle class. You pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. A lot of hard work, a lot of jokes that didn't land, but you just kept going. And here you are with a national television show that's doing boffo ratings, a radio show with 205 stations that is doing great ratings. I don't know. You must have to pinch yourself once in a while.
It is. Listen, it's really is an amazing ride. I try not to talk about the successful part because my drug dealer is going to start raising his prices. You know what I mean? You can't. This guy, I'm getting all these pills on the cheap, Bob. You know, if we keep talking about ratings, there's no way he's not going to jack me up a little bit. It's tax season. I don't have time for this.
I love it.
But we're having a good time. And
Well,
I'm just trying to use it for good, man. That's it. Like, as lucky and as fortunate as I am, and I know I made a lot of my own luck by putting in the 20-hour days for 20 years, but the truth is once you get to this place, you just want to help the rest of the world. Like, if you can give people that real perspective, be a force multiplier of positive energy, then you're making a good difference. So that really is the goal beyond me wearing rhinestones and getting away with so many dirty jokes.
in a past life, I owned radio stations, and I was one of the first four stations who syndicated Imus out of New York. And Imus always used to tell me, he said, look at the people on the Today Show. They hate each other passionately. But now I look at the Fox gang, and I say, you know what? I get a sense that it genuinely is a real family.
Oh, this is the one unique thing about Fox, and this is where you're spot on. We all do each other's shows. Like, you're never going to turn on MSNBC and see Morning Joe on a primetime show as a guest. Yeah. You're never going to see Rachel Maddow on a midday show as a guest. There's no sense of community. Imus was right, because those people are purely TV people who think they're the center of the universe and they hate each other. At Fox, we genuinely like each other, even the people we disagree with. Let me give you an example. You know, most of my viewers can't stand Jessica Tarloff, okay? But when she went on maternity leave, we all chipped in and booked her a submarine trip to the Titanic. So don't say we're not all in this together at Fox.
I heard you on your show talking about her yesterday, and the joke you played, you introduced her to people who you knew hated her. Yeah, and it turns out they made fast friends.
Yes, because this is where Tarloff wins over even the most hardcore conservatives. At parties, she likes to tell dirty jokes. And, you know, no matter who you are, no matter how you vote, there's no guy out there who doesn't like a TV face telling them jokes about sex. There isn't, okay? So she didn't meet my friends and start talking about the war or the border. She played the party game, and she's good at it. And that's the magic of what Fox is it's a real community, because that's what America is. I mean, America is not built on people who agree with each other. It's built on hardworking, fun-loving people who can agree to disagree without canceling you or unfriending you.
That's all good stuff. May 2nd, you'll be headlining this 10th anniversary for Bold Gold Media at Mohegan Sun, the casino and convention center. We look forward to that, and maybe we'll even get you on to promote the event one more time before. We appreciate it.
You better. No, this is fun, Bob. Flash the bat signal when you need me. I'm like a stray cat. You fed once. I'll keep coming back.
All right. Jimmy Fallon, Fox. He's great. We'll take a break and be back. didn't know we had to wait till that. What a neat song. What a cute song. This date, 1967, Murph tells us Tommy James and the Shondells moved into the top 10 charts at number 8 with their hit, I Think We're Alone Now. And I messed up talking to Jimmy Fallon. He's going to be here on the 5th. They've got a Bold Gold broadcast. It's a radio group that Vince Benedetto runs. They've got their media foundation is having its 10th anniversary on the 5th, Tuesday the 5th, at Mohican, where Jimmy Fallon is going to headline. So my apologies on that one. But the Bold Gold Media Group is 20 years old. But the foundation that they're raising money for at the event is 10 years old, and that's great stuff. Great stuff. We love that gang and that station. We really do. Hey, Roach Supply. They're the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania, and they're celebrating 75 years in business. I want you to visit them. Veteran-owned. RoachSupply.com. That's ROCHE Supply.com. You will love them. And there's a reason they're in business for 75 years. They're bringing us your live stream. And by the way, Lee, he texted in helpfully. He said, Bob, I have a hard enough time listening to you. I don't want to stare at you. So he's not going to join the live stream. But Lee, we love you anyway. Somebody texts in, Bob, tell Jimmy, get Jessica to go to work for The View. Somebody said, Bob, here's how I feel. No one should watch a De Niro movie or buy a Springsteen song, period. They are anti-American as far as I'm concerned. Shame on these hypocrites. Enough said. LTS, says the old gal from Mountaintop. LTS, back at you. Another listener said, LTS, glad to have you. Glad to hear you have Jimmy on the show. I listen to him a lot. Great show. The show is great. Very well produced. The guy's real. He's real. He's great. And he really is a national treasure. And just as he said, I can be a little coarse. He makes he's the spoonful of sugar. Makes the medicine go down. He really is. Always funny, always on it. And we'll look forward to, we'll talk to him again before the event. Mother Teresa, St. Teresa for April 8th. She says, I knew that God wanted something from me. I was only 12 years old, living with my parents in Yugoslavia, when I first sensed a desire. And that desire turned into incredible greatness, incredible holiness. This is me talking now, not Mother Teresa. And helped so many people and inspired so many millions more. St. Teresa. Thank you, Mary Regina. Let us take our break. Bob Cordaro on the eponymous program. We're going to hear from our great sponsors. We got a Veterans Tribute. We've got the weather. And then we've got more. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you by our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. 3 incredible bar restaurants. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern. The reimagined neighborhood tradition and the Trips Park section of West Scranton. And the Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. They are all awesome. You check them out, you'll know what I mean. This fine dining, the best anywhere. Stegmeyer Mansion. Old world take on fine dining and a great bar in a truly restored 1800s mansion. A Terra 519, the modern take on fine dining, downtown Scranton, with an amazing happy hour, because I love the bar. And that's $10 for your mixed cocktails, $6 for craft beer. A Terra 519. That's the Basiliga Hospitality Group. Ronald Edwards. We lost him March 9th at age 92. He lived in Visalia, California for the last 44 years. Born in the family home in German, PA, back in 1933. He survived his wife of 57 years, Harriet, whom he lost in 2014. After graduating from German high school, 1951, he served all of us in the United States Air Force as an airman first class. He was a Freemason and a volunteer firefighter at the Crystal Hose Fire Company for 13 years. He saved numerous lives. Upon being promoted within the manufacturing company he worked for, he moved his family of 5 to California in 1969 to run the West Coast division of a perforated metals company in the Bay Area. Worked his way up from shipping clerk to president, every position in between. Shop, office, you name it. Through company sales, name changes, the whole package. Through his 40-plus year career, his leadership established innovative techniques and a plant layout that challenged and changed the industry with cutting-edge technology. As well as his love of technology, he liked simple things like carpentry. He built a house with his beloved brother. Bowling, billiards, tossing horseshoe, darts. Survived by his 3 daughters, 2 sons-in-law, 3 grandsons, and a great-grandson. His good nature, positive attitude will be greatly missed. He was a good man with a kind heart. Can you say anything better? Ronald Edwards, our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resort. Today, plenty of sunshine. They say it's going to get up to 58. It's only 44 at Montage as I speak. Tonight, clear. It'll drop down to 30. Tomorrow, intervals of cloud and sun, breezy in the afternoon, high 61, low 39. Friday, turning cloudy and warmer, 73 degrees, low 43. That's Friday. Saturday, mostly sunny and cooler, high of only about 60 with a low of 32. Sunday, intervals of cloud and sunshine, high 63, low 47. I won't be with you Friday and Monday, but headed off to Florida for some actual warm weather, predictable warm weather, just for the weekend. But I'll be back. Hey, Joe from Troops Parks texts in. He says, we will never know the amount of lives Trump saved by taking action in Iran. You're right. But we can look back at how long Nazi Germany was left to arm itself before World War II and get an idea on how bad evil can get if left unchecked. You nailed it. Joe from Trips Park, you nailed it. That's incredibly important. Incredibly important. All right, let's go to Jim from Hazelden. Jim, how are you, brother?
Good. How you doing today, my friend?
Doing great.
So, couple things. First thing is they've spiked the Kool-Aid, on the morning show, but that's beside the point. I was listening to the last half hour yesterday, and they're on the.
I'm bookended. I'm bookended here by Trump's derangement syndrome.
I know.
Before and after, crazy. It's what is.
But I figured out. I went to the Cat Tim show over the weekend. I got one of them tickets, like I was telling you. I took my daughter, and she was okay with the show, but it taught me one thing. At the show, there was a lot of 30-somethings and over. So that brings me to believe that I think I understand what's going wrong with the country, and it's the youth. The youth doesn't know how to laugh. You go to a comedy show, there's nobody 18, 19, 20, 21 in their 20s. They don't go out to the comedy show. So and there was nothing.
How was she wasn't great, but she was good?
Yeah, she was good. I liked it. But
Okay.
I'm saying it's not. There was no politics. Like, she was talking jokes about her husband.
Yeah.
And the one joke was funny. She's like, "Who here drinks Bud Light?" Out of a couple hundred people out there, not one person raised their hand that they drank Bud Light. So she was making a point about that and stuff. But no, it was really funny. But like, people were laughing. It was funny. But my daughter just. I don't know if she's not a comedy person or didn't get the jokes.
How to laugh.
I don't know what, because
you know what it is? Because they're waiting around, young people around waiting to be offended. It takes them like 3 beats to realize, oh, that was funny, and no one around me is offended.
Yeah. And then back to the war in Iran.
Was it full? Did she get a good crowd?
Yeah.
Good.
It was pretty full. And
Good.
the funny thing was, the back to the war in Iran thing, it kind of reminds me of my favorite movie. And I know you can relate to this, because I know you kind of have the sense of humor with me, with the Monty Python movie, and the Search for the Holy Grail. Iran is like that night when he chops his arms off, till he chops his arms and legs off. The night's still like when he gets his arms and legs chopped off. He's like, "Well, we'll call it a draw."
I hadn't thought of that or heard it. I love it, Jim. That's fantastic. All right.
You ever seen that skit in Monty Python, The Search for the Holy Grail?
No, I have. That's the funny part. I know it.
Yeah, that's the funny part, where he chops all his arms and legs off, and the knight's like, "Well, we'll call it a draw."
Yeah,
and
hilarious.
that's kind of like the Iran thing, like Trump is pummeling them left and right. Every time you turn around, they're bombing this and bombing that. And I think the leaders in Iran.
Oh, they're mentally ill. They're evil. They're evil to the point of mental illness, and they had to be wiped out. And I don't think we're done. I really don't, Jim.
Well,
Thank you.
Here's the thing I was thinking with that, to end on it, was that they gave up because look at how late into it is, and they're still killing leaders. They're finding them and killing them.
Yeah. Let's just keep going. Keep killing them.
That's what I'm saying.
Kill them as much as you have to. Yep.
If they want to stay alive, they got to make peace, or else they will die. I think that's why they want a ceasefire. If there's a ceasefire, they can't be killed.
Well, I think we needed a break too, so I think it comes at a good time. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Hey, let's go to Ray from Mountaintop. Ray, how are you, brother?
Robert, I'm good, and we certainly got wonderful, great news. But, my God, our disloyal opposition to the Democrat Party
it's a disgrace. Absolute
just
disgrace.
disgusting. They root for Iran to defeat us.
Yep.
They have no sense of history, no sense of patriotism, no sense of loyalty. How a Jew in Luzerne or Lackawanna County could ever be a Democrat is beyond me. They are morbidly anti-Semitic. They absolutely are so blinded by hatred. Why did Trump use the words unconditional surrender? Why? Do you think he used them for a reason, Robert? Because I do. He understood. Did we obliterate Japan? We did. Did we drop a nuclear bomb? There already has been a nuclear war, and we know what that means.
Yep.
But when did we drop the bomb? August 6, 1945. When did the Japanese sign the surrender? When did they surrender?
They needed
September
two. They needed two dropped. It's
That's
that
right.
level evil and indoctrination that we are opposing right now. Maybe worse, by the way.
The truth of the matter is that the honest Japanese historians came to understand that without the nuclear bomb, they couldn't stop. And even when we dropped two, it took them 3 more weeks to recognize that they had to capitulate. Why are we so blind? Why is the Democrats so blind by their hatred, their absolute hatred, that they would sacrifice everything? That ne'er-do-well Edgar Markey, or whatever his name is, has already introduced a resolution to impeach President Trump. The greatest president, by far, the greatest president.
These people are insane. They're
Abraham-
insane, Ray. My God.
Robert, Abraham Lincoln suspended habeas corpus. Abraham Lincoln conducted mass executions during the war. Why do we never apply to Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt? You know, he says it. Okay, some people don't like the way he talks. But you know what?
But he had to be. Here's the point, though. He had to show, I'm as crazy as you are, and I've got the goods.
Absolutely.
And he did.
Absolutely.
And it brought them to the table, and it may work. If it doesn't, we've got 2 weeks of rest to renew and retarget and take them out and do more damage.
And every senior citizen who's a Democrat who has grandchildren needs to think for a minute, what in God's name would those people do if they had an A bomb or an H bomb and the system to deliver it? They would use it. It's the oldest rule in the book. When they tell you that they will kill you, when they tell you that they will annihilate you, when they absolutely do, at the whim, at the drop of a moment, execute their own people, you better believe them.
There's a post that people are of right minds are spreading. Trump forces Iran into complete capitulation, and the left, who was deathly afraid to attack Iran, now claim Trump backed down. You can't coach this level of stupid. And it's true.
You know what, Bob? And to our, you know what? The margin of victory is going to be slim. We are not going to lose the House because there is more than enough time. Crude oil prices have already dropped 20% in less than 10 hours. Okay, but there's more than enough time for this damage to be healed and for some measure of accurate retrospection to apply to say, thank God he saved us.
Yep.
But there's a word in German, it's called Sonderkommando. Those were the Jews in the concentration camps who led their brothers and sisters to their
Into
executions.
the chambers. Yep. We got to go, my man. We'll be back. I like Gilbert O'Sullivan. I forgot about this song. I thought all his songs were full of angst. It's good to hear him have sort of a happy song. Murph said Gilbert O'Sullivan had his second number one hit in the UK with Get Down. Most listeners thought he was talking about his dog, but the song was actually about a girl behaving like a dog and jumping on him. How about that, Murph says. That's this date, 1973. Going right to the blower before the top of the hour. Ed from Berwick. How are you, Ed?
Hey, Casa Dice Roberto. I want to talk to you a little about remarks about made by the war. I won't mention any names. I won't pick on anybody. But you got a Schlepphelder that talks in the morning, and she said, "You bombed them bridges. You bombed the power plants. That's a war crime." Okay, I'm not talking through my hat. I went through 3 wars. War is a crime. Why don't they just outlaw it and send a cop to the house when you start a war and give him a ticket?
I know. Hey,
So
we
anybody
stopped
talks like
a
that.
growing, essentially, we have historic parallels. We stopped essentially Nazi Germany from coming to full power. And I don't think the job's done yet either, by the way.
Germany, the book Killing General Patton is the best book ever in my life. It's all in there. So anybody tells me about, well, this thing you do in war is a crime, this thing is not, they're a stunad.
Yes.
And anybody that insists on this, well, Trump does this or does that, I say to them, kiss the pats. So,
can you say that in English without cursing?
He or she is crazy.
All right, I got it.
Kiss
I
the
like
pats.
it. I like it.
Doozy Potts is you're crazy. Well, you're not crazy. No. And so that's all I got. We keep it close. And war is a crime. It is. Any kind of war is a crime.
Yep.
I know I've been through it. I'm a criminal, I guess. So next guy declares a war. You call the Scranton policeman and say, get that guy and give him a citation. He'll never drive in Scranton again.
I know.
That'll fix his dupa, huh?
You nailed it, Ed. You reduced it to the simplest form, and it's correct. And they don't get it. And they don't want to get it, by the way.
I think they got something. But I think there's something you have to go to the doctor to get penicillin shots for.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure, Ed. Thank you. Okay, my man. Somebody texted in, so if the price of a barrel of oil is coming down, now remember, the price of a barrel of oil did not come down yet. That is the futures markets, meaning what will oil cost in the future? People are speculating and using it to hedge the current price of oil as well as the future price of oil. So the price of oil will come down. It hasn't yet, just so you know. And somebody says, not a troll, just genuinely asking. I know that. And the gas stations are still basing, and you got to remember how long it takes to get through the system. Is a worldwide price. If it comes off Karg Island in the Persian Gulf, weeks and weeks and weeks of transshipment to whether it's going to Asia and in some cases to North America, South America, Europe, whatever. The future price of this oil is what has dropped dramatically under $100. That will help you in the future. It's not going to help you right now. How quickly that turns around is an interesting question. But remember, the gas stations are basing today's price on what they're going to pay to replace the gasoline you are putting in your car. So keep that in mind. That's today's price, is what it will cost to replace the tank of gas you just put in your car. That's their speculation. That's what they're trying to do. Cover the next shipment that they're getting. All right. My Picardo Jewelers watch, and they've got all kinds. Raymond Weil, Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko, Tory Burch, Victorinox, Bulova, G-Shock, and of course the great Picardo's brand itself, which I wear. That's telling me it's 11:01 and change, which means it's time for the news. But I got to remind you, I got Cutie a jewelry gift, which it's the best jewelry store there is. And I got her a jewelry gift, and despite misbehaving over the weekend, I'm in good standing. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Great good morning, everyone. It is 11:10 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful, what is it? What day is it? Wednesday, April 8th, year of our Lord 2026 here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga hospitality group, all of those brave who have made us and kept us free. People like local veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. Like Emily Berger, Zion Grove, late of drums. Ronald Edwards, late of California, but he was from German. And Stephen Gogola, Parksburg, formerly of Hazleton. So with history, our great founding fathers, they are amazing, and we will not let them be canceled. As well as the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense after that brief news adjournment. We promise that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. Bob, did you hear about the illegal alien from Haiti who killed a lady with a hammer? Yeah, down in Florida. Remember that when we honor Joe Biden, FJB. Bulldog, tell me when you have it ready, because with that reminder, it's time to bring about to remind people of the disgrace that the Greenridge Neighborhood Association has foisted upon all of us, not just in the Greenridge section of Scranton. It embarrasses the whole city. Biden banner disgrace, day 114, stolen valor. The Greenridge Neighborhood Association, and please contact them on their Facebook page or their website and let them know what you think. Even after finding out that the hometown hero banners were for veterans who served this country in our military, knowing that Joe Biden dodged service repeatedly, they still kept the banner up vote 10-5. They're disgracing themselves, they're disgracing our area, and they are debasing the service of our veterans. Take the banner down, Greenridge Neighborhood Association. Day 114 of the Biden banner disgrace. Unbelievable. James Woods, the actor, he says this. He says, "Dear Democrats, remember when your AutoPen numbskull left billions in material behind in Afghanistan and then was caught checking his watch as slaughtered Americans returned under flags? So please just stuff it," he says. Yeah. The hypocrisy, the lack of self-awareness, it's actually at levels that are disgusting right now. No better epitomized by the 10 Greenridge Neighborhood Association people who voted to keep the Biden banner up after they found out they were wrong. Disgrace. Hey, let's go to Jim from Harding. See that, Jim? As I think of something disgusting like the Biden banner and the Greenridge Neighborhood Association, I have to go to something good, and that would be you.
Well, no, you know what they could do with that banner? I'm quite certain the landfill people got a utility pole in there they can hang it on.
Yeah. There should be pigeons on it. But
yeah. You know, that Jimmy Fallon, I tell you what, I watch him every Saturday. This guy has to be the funniest man since Robin Williams came on the scene.
He's great. He's great.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
And you had a caller there saying that we're going to win these by a thin margin. You know, the sad part about that, a lot of people don't pay attention to the news. I was talking to my brother yesterday. He didn't even hear about the 30-some thousand Iranians got slaughtered by their own people because they don't follow the news. And when they do, they'll turn on ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, MS Now, the Associated Press. And these are just propaganda platforms for the Democratic Party.
You know, it's funny. Amazing. I knew exactly what they were going to say when Trump announced the ceasefire. I said, they're going to say, well, we didn't get anything out of all of this destruction. Nothing happened. Nothing good. We just wasted money and we're paying more for gas. You could just predict their stupidity. And none of them cared about gas going up intentionally under Biden, and none of them cared about the lies they told about why the gas prices went up. Wow.
Well, what got me is one of those Democrats saying that he's putting American citizens in harm's way. Well, let me see. They demonize ICE. They protect these rapists, murderers, and pedophiles from being tossed out because they need them for the voting base. And look at Jeffrey saying he's doing the will of the people. Well, 83% of the people want voter ID. Did you know I was sick a couple of weeks ago? I went to the pharmacy and got NyQuil. I'm 69 years old. I had to show them an ID. I was just getting one bottle, not a case. It's amazing. Yeah. And then one more comment. This is like on the lighter side. Like I'm not serious, but I'm serious. You know how back in January of 2025, Schumer said they put 250 progressive judges, like federal district judges in place to stop them. I'm surprised that Schumer ain't getting a district judge to stop the White House from using 2-ply toilet paper and make them go to 1-ply.
Well, that's why, as crazy as these people are, that's why we played Foster Brooks. We want to let them know that we have a sense of humor on our side anyway.
Well, no, the only thing I like there, these people shouldn't be vandalizing that sign because they, make us look bad.
I agree, although now that it has been done and they apparently got away with it, I'm not unhappy. I've got to admit it. You got to tell the truth.
Well,
and it deserves pink paint.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sad stuff. Jim, thank you. Always my pleasure, my friend. Hey, we've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors. Then we're going to have a little history, then a little music, and then you, if you choose, at 570-883-0098. Aerosmith. Murph tells us this date, 1975, they released their hit album, Toys in the Attic. Walk This Way is the song he chose. And, of course, Hank Aaron, and I was watching. He hit his 715th career home run in a game. Al Downing, who was he's a good pitcher. He was a guy you knew. Well, you knew everybody in baseball when you followed it in the day. But that was Vin Scully on the call, the longtime Los Angeles Dodgers announcer. But Vin was just a great job. He was one of the all-time classic announcers. And I remember watching that, and it was just so much fun. You just really did feel like you're part of history. Thank you to the Bulldog for pulling that out of the archives. I had to laugh. I'm going through Instagram, and one of the guys I follow is a guy named David J. Harris Jr. He's always got good stuff. And you know how I tell you, they've got no self-awareness. They're divorced from fact, truth, and reality, the left. Now, here's transgender representative Sarah McBride. She says, Trump needs to stop pretending he's a cowboy. I hate when people act like something they are not. And I just said, the lack of, and by the way, you could be a woman, you could be anything you want. I really believe that, and I don't care. But the lack of self-awareness of this left-wing kook, because she's not a kook because she's transgender, in my view. She's a kook because she's a left-wing jackass. But the lack of self-awareness in making that statement, using those words, I hate when people act like something they're not. You just can't even, you can't make it up. You really can't make it up. Wow. Stunning. Another texter, according to the left, illegal alien truck drivers are not a problem in this country. Yeah, except for the people they've killed. Yeah, except for the dozens of people they've killed. Yeah. But they continue. 13 were just arrested at the DMV outside of Pittsburgh trying to obtain CDL license. And what else can you do with a driver's license? I wonder. I'm wondering with you. Register to vote. I'm sure Boy King Billy Gone would have a problem with ICE arresting these criminals at the Dunmore DMV. Yes, he would. These people are just stupid. They're liars. They're hypocrites. There is no sugarcoating it. It's insane. Yeah, they're upset. They're upset. They're upset about Trump. They only do the left. You listen to these shows. Oh, my God, did you hear what Trump said? Oh, my God, did you hear what Trump did? They just go back and forth, and I'm like, how do you live like that? How do you live that stupidly, number one? How do you live that ignorantly? It's just shocking. That's why, initially, I thought it was cute, Trump derangement syndrome. It's real. It is completely real. And the MAGA people make America great again. Oh, well, that's really offensive. These are the same people who say the American flag is controversial and offensive. They're unreal. Absolutely unreal. So it's what it is. We're going to have to deal with them. You know what, though? It's so important. All the people listening that have common sense and have shared values, you've got to vote in the fall. You can't let these clowns, like the complete idiots at the No Kings rally, you can't let them outvote you, period. You will be walking into a society that they will create and impose upon you that you will not recognize. And I guarantee you won't enjoy. And by the way, over the long term, they won't either. Everybody thought it was great in Iran when they got rid of the Shah. How'd that work out? How did that work out? A government that could kill 35,000 people, that's stated goal was to bring about the end of the world. That's Iran. And you're telling me that's not Hitler? That's not... So all the comparisons to Hitler, see, now they pale. Now they don't work because we have actual Hitlers in the form of the clerics that ran the country of Iran for 47 years. Now we have the Waffen-SS and the Stasi, the internal police from Nazi Germany in Iran. Tom from Dallas points out that's 13 truck driving jobs Americans can now get that those illegals are deported. Amen. 11:31 on my Picardo Jewelers watch. Let's take the break. Let's hear from our great sponsors. We'll come back with a Veterans Tribute, the weather, and as they always say, more. And I think we're going to sneak our friend and a little sunshine, Tina Morocco, in. That's what I'm looking forward to. We'll take a break and be back for all of that after this. Our Veterans Tribute, as always, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga, and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, because it's a Wednesday. We got to start thinking weekend. We got to start thinking fun. Maybe even tonight. Fine dining like you've never seen it in Northeast Pennsylvania. The Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. Old world, old school, all the way, and fabulous. The Atera 519, new world, new school, and gorgeous and delicious all the way. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. Far Street Tavern, on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton, the reimagined neighborhood institution. And the Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. They are all fabulous. Stephen Gogola, we lost him March 12th. Parksburg, Pennsylvania. His loving wife and devoted daughter at his side. Born in Hazleton, graduated from West Hazleton High School. Remember the track team, long distance runner, javelin thrower. After high school, Steve joined the Navy, became a hospital corpsman. He served in the 2nd Marine Division at Camp Lejeune, also stationed at St. Albans Naval Hospital, New York. He was calm, kind, and caring. After the Navy, he used his VA benefits to get his associate's degree in electrical engineering from Penn State. Began working towards his bachelor's degree, but quit to take care of his father who had cancer. After that, he took a job with Pico, now known as Exelon, for 31 years. First at the Schuylkill Station, then Limerick Generating Station, and finally at Peach Bottom Atomic Power Station. Retired in 2013 to begin his favorite career as babysitter to his 2 beautiful granddaughters. Devoted husband to his wife, Gloria, for over 44 years. He helped her realize all her dreams. He was known as the Golden Boy because he stepped in and took care of his mother-in-law and father-in-law. He was the definition of a Renaissance man. He knows so much about so many things. He didn't just know things, though. He used his knowledge to help everyone around him. Steve was very proud of his son, Jacob Walter Gogola, who passed away in 2026, bravely fighting cancer for over 3.5 years. He knew tragedy. He adored his 5 grandchildren. He'll be forever missed and remembered by his wife, Gloria, daughter Rachel, those great-grandchildren, son and daughter-in-law, and many other family members. Stephen Gogola, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by our man John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast today, plenty of sunshine, 58 degrees. Tonight, clear. It's going to get down to 30. Tomorrow, intervals of cloud and sun, breezy in the afternoon, 61, low of 39. Friday, turning cloudy and warmer, 73, a low of 43. Saturday, mostly sunny and cooler, high 60, low 32. Sunday, intervals of cloud and sunshine, high 63, low 47. 44 degrees at Montage Mountain. That's our friends who bring you the forecast, who bring you the weather, who mean weather on the Bob Cordaro Show every day. And believe me, Montage Mountain is swinging into spring. Go check it out this week and this weekend. You won't be sorry. 80 some degrees in Naples and Southwest Florida. But Tina Morocco, she's Global Sales Advisor at Premier Sotheby's International in Naples, Florida. She is your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. You can reach her through Sotheby's International or TinaMorocco.com. That's MURACCO. Tina, how are you? I was chilly in the studio. It's only 44, although they say it's going to get to 58.
Beach for an inspection. The buyers are from Philadelphia, and when we went under contract, they were like, "Well, we got to come back to Naples for the inspection," and that's not the case. You know, it's not the case here. Like I've told you before, everything we do, lots of things we do here are virtual, and so the inspectors are used to the buyers not being here. And they're great about calling the buyers after the inspection or during the inspection if they find anything. And they send all of these inspection reports to you with the photos within 24 hours of the inspection. So you get that. And then the other thing I was going through with these buyers, since they're from Pennsylvania, the differences in inspections between Pennsylvania home inspections and Florida, coastal Florida home inspections. So there's a lot of different things here you have to think about, and a lot of things that I didn't think about when we bought our house in Pennsylvania. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. What are the things that strike you? I mean, obviously Florida's got other issues. You've got hurricanes and that kind of thing you got to think about. But it's more than that, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So the first thing, hurricanes, you bring that up. So a wind mitigation inspection. So you're going to need that if you get insurance. And some people, most people carry insurance, but, there's people that just don't. But a wind mitigation inspection will check not only your roof and all the fastenings inside the roof, the pitch of the roof, but it also checks all of your openings of your home. So so your windows, your doors, your garage doors, anything that can let air through, they're looking at, and they're checking to see what type of protection there is. And they'll give you a report that you'd have to give to your insurance provider, and your insurance will be based off of that. So always good to have, the best hurricane protection. Impact windows and doors are great, but as long as you have window coverings on everything, you're also good. But if you don't, that's not to say you can't get insurance. So it's just, varied levels of insurance and costs associated with that.
And when you think about all these things, you really say, and I say this, and I don't say it just for fun, you need someone you can trust as your realtor and to be your real estate guide in Florida, and that's Tina Morocco. I don't say it joshing at all. And you go through this whole process with them. They didn't have to come. I guarantee they wanted the weather, but that's another story.
Right.
They wanted a nice weekend.
They want the weather. They want the beach. They want, it's Southwest Florida, so you want to be waterfront. You want to, you want to be able to be here in the wintertime. So yeah.
So the Naples Park area, now is that real? If it's near Vanderbilt Beach, is it really high end, or are there other types of properties, all kinds of properties rather?
So Naples Park. So if you think of Vanderbilt Beach, the Connors are it's the area that's right along the water. All the houses, the big houses that are on the canals. Naples Park is behind Connors, so most of the properties are not waterfront. They're kind of in between the coast or the canals and US 41. So it's a pretty big area. And then prices there range from, probably, I didn't look at the MLS today, but I would guess from $500,000 to about $4 million. So you have little homes and big homes. A lot of new construction going on there. A lot of the older homes are being torn down. But the nice part about Naples Park, and the reason why a lot of people are familiar with it, is because it's so Airbnb and VRBO heavy there. There's no HOA, no rental restrictions. So a lot of people, when they first come to the Naples area and they want to rent a house, it's there. So many of them are used as investment properties and rental properties. So yeah, that's the Naples Park area. It's a great A lot of the properties you can just walk to the beach or you can walk to Mercado. There's a lot to do. And you'll constantly see people there like riding their bikes or running outside. It's a very, very active area there.
We're talking with Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's Realty in Naples, Florida. You could also reach her at tinamorocco.com, MURACCO. What percentage, and I'm throwing this at you, what percentage of your buyers are also, they're going to use it, but are going to rent the property as well?
I would say probably 40 to 50% of my buyers end up renting the property. And I wouldn't say not full-time renting it, but rent it like at least a couple months a year.
Yeah.
And
it defrays the costs and all that, yeah.
Right. And a lot of them just, even give it to family or friends and say, hey, can you play the cleaning lady? Or, hey, can you, that type of thing. So a lot of them do it to offset the cost of, if there's an HOA or the taxes, whatever. And, even people that don't think that they're going to do it at first, they'll find that, neighbors will approach them and say, hey, if you're not using it, my sister's coming down. Can she rent it for you? That type of thing. So that happens a lot.
Tina, I almost hesitate to do this, but I'm going to ask you, what's the weather down there today?
77 right now, and it's pretty sunny. It's a little windy, but sunny. 77.
Southwest Florida, the best weather in the United States of America. It's surpassed San Diego. It's the best weather there is. Well, Tina Morocco, thank you very much. We always love having you. She is Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International, Naples. You could find her there or go to Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. Grazie, Tina. Thank you. Hey, we'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Hey, good news for normal people. Clay Fuller, the Republican, won the Georgia 14 election. That's the one to replace, what's her name, the goofy son of a bee? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah. But there was concern because the Democrats put up a real good candidate, an African-American brigadier general who he didn't toe any line. Like you're going to hear Paige Cognetti trying to lie about what she believes, and she's caught red-handed on every issue, by the way. Open borders, support for Joe Biden, release of the clemency for the kids for cash, the whole bit. She's going to lie about all of it. But she's fully in the tank with Joe Biden and the left-wing lunatics. In any event, they had a guy who was saying, hey, I'm military. I don't support anything just because it's the Democrat Party. I mean, that's their method. Oh, I'm not a left-wing lunatic. I'm going to lie. Crazy, crazy stuff. But Clay Fuller, another veteran, defeated him, and that's a good sign. So that was Journey. They debuted with their first hit, Wheel in the Sky. I saw them up at Buffalo's Rich Stadium back in 81 or 2. 1978, this date. And we're going to finish with Tone Loc. Why not? Because this date, 1989, he moved into the top 10 charts at number 10 with his hit, Funky Cold Medina. And speaking of Funky Cold Medina, I'm going through Instagram, and I see these pictures of the Fred Stegmeyer mansion. That is, it's a bed and breakfast. And, you could tell it had great bones, great this. And I'm thinking, God, this is a lot of, you wouldn't believe how they've restored the Fred Stegmeyer mansion for this bed and breakfast. And I tell people this all the time, and I did it in Scranton, staying at the Radisson one time. Like, do a staycation. Hell of a lot cheaper, hell of a lot less headache, and then you just drive a few miles home when the vacation's done. This Stegmeyer mansion, Fred Stegmeyer mansion, I'm going to do a staycation there. It is unbelievable. You've got to see the bedrooms. You've got to see the accoutrement. Unbelievable. Wow. Better than I thought possible. Any event. Quick mention, and because it's important, of our friends that we lost, our veterans. Stephen Gogola, Parksburg, from West Hazelton and Hazelton. Emily Berger, Zion Grove, also drums. Ronald Edwards, Leyte, California, but he was from German. And thank you to John Basiliga and his Basiliga Hospitality Group for all of that. Thanks to Jimmy Fela for being with us. Bulldog will feature Fela, obviously. But the other thing I want you to feature when we do our thing is my little explanation of this, I think I did it at 9:20 or whatever, of this ceasefire. Look at, we needed the off-ramp. You cannot, from a munitions standpoint, from a fatigue standpoint, from an equipment standpoint, you cannot continue. This just unabated and then even step it up. This is a good break for our military, and we may have to go in again because these Iranians are sick bastards, and many, many of them just have to be killed. There's no redemption. Sorry. Well, my Bacardo's Jewelers watch tells me, and I look at my sweep hand, we're headed towards noon. That means I'm done. And the Sue Henry show's next. The Rob O'Donnell show after that. Just remember our friends at Roach Supply who bring you the live stream. They are the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business. That tells you all you need to know. They're good, they're honest, and they've got good prices. Slick texting in, by the way, Naples Park that Tina Morocco was talking about. He said, have some good pickleball there. And he's been there a couple of times. LTS back at you, Slick. I'm going to have to check it down. I'm going to be in that area this weekend. Guys, you have a great afternoon. God willing, I'll be with you tomorrow morning first thing. But for now, we gavel to a close today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Adios. Thanks, Tone Loke.